Hey, I'm Dave, and as longtime viewers of the channel likely know, I've got autism, and not just a little. I thought it would therefore make some sense to visit a few core topics related to autism, and today's example is mind blindness. Mind blindness in autism refers to the challenge that individuals with autism often face in understanding and interpreting the thoughts, feelings, and intentions of others. This concept is closely related to the theory of mind, which is the ability to recognize that other people have perspectives, beliefs, and emotions that are distinct from one's own. The theory of mind has been perhaps one of the largest blind spots in my own life. It's not that I'm intellectually unaware that other people bring their own perspectives, contexts, and history to the table. The problem begins when I try to intuit what the other person is thinking or feeling. I make my analysis based on what my mind would likely think in their position, using my own set of preconceived notions and biases which are necessarily different from their own. Any interaction with another person, from a simple social encounter to a heated disagreement, can be complicated by the person with autism's inability to accurately formulate a version of what's going on in the other person's mind. Why is this? Well, individuals with autism might struggle to interpret facial expressions, tone of voice, and body language, making it hard to gauge others' emotions. They may be oblivious to social nuances like sarcasm, jokes, or indirect language, which can be confusing, leading to misunderstandings in communication. People on the spectrum often interpret language very literally and may have difficulty understanding that others have their own viewpoints or knowledge. They may miss certain nuances of communication that cause them to build faulty mental models of the other person's process. Due to these social difficulties, forming and maintaining social relationships can be challenging, as can participating in social activities that require an intuitive understanding of others' behavior. The back and forth flow of natural communication may be hard to achieve, as individuals with mind blindness might not readily pick up on cues to listen, respond, or change the topic sensitively. The Big T truth concept represents absolute, universal truths that remain constant across times and cultures, transcending individual perspectives and societal changes. These truths contrast sharply with what I call the small t truths, which are highly subjective, influenced by personal experiences and cultural context. Big T truths encompass fundamental principles or undeniable facts related to the universe, existence, morality, or human nature. For instance, mathematical truths such as 2 plus 2 equals 4 or logical principles like the law of non-contradiction are considered big T truths because they hold universally and are not subject to individual interpretation or cultural differences. Understanding big T truths is crucial for developing a coherent worldview and facilitating intercultural dialogue, as they provide a common ground of reasoning and knowledge that can bridge diverse perspectives. Relational frame theory, or RFT, posits that the meanings of words, concepts, and truths are not inherent or static. Instead, they are constructed through their context and the relational frames we employ to interpret them. Relational frames are networks of associations between concepts shaped by our interactions with the environment, as well as our historical and cultural backgrounds. According to RFT, even universal truths, often regarded as big T truths, are subject to interpretation within these relational frameworks. This theory emphasizes that our understanding of truths, including those considered absolute, is influenced by the complex interplay of personal experiences and cultural conditioning. Now, for individuals with autism, there may be a tendency to perceive their interpretation of the reality as the definitive big T truth. This perception arises because their unique cognitive processes can lead them to form very rigid and unyielding relational frames, making it challenging to consider alternative perspectives or contextual shifts in meaning. After some counseling and introspection, I came to realize that when I was confident that I was right, I was erroneously awarding big T truth status to my own version of things. Perspectives that really should have been held as my own small t truths were granted universal truth status in my head unless and until somebody could successfully disabuse me of it, at which point I would update my mental model with the new information and then repeat the same mistake over again. Much of my life was spent presuming that, as an intelligent individual, my version of the world was the right one, and that all I had to do was sufficiently educate, convince, and cajole the other person until they got my version. It has only been in recent years that I have paid genuine attention to the fact that others have their own small t truth perspectives. I begrudgingly accept that they are likely as valid as my own, something I still struggle with at the moment. But accepting that multiple views of reality can be valid simultaneously has made a great deal of difference in my life, and many relationships and interactions are much easier now. The mind blindness that can accompany autism can reinforce an outsider's perspective that the individual's empathy is somehow impaired, but in most cases, this is a function of the communication difficulties we just enumerated. They may impair the individual's ability to get a complete and accurate understanding of the situation from the other person's perspective. These manifestations can vary widely among individuals with autism, with some showing remarkable skills in certain areas while facing more significant challenges in others. If you found today's discussion of mind blindness to be at all interesting or entertaining, please remember I'm mostly in this for the subs and likes, so I'd be honored if you consider subscribing to the channel. If you enjoyed the topic, it's just a sample amongst dozens of others in my new book on Amazon, The Non-Visible Part of the Autism Spectrum. It's intended for folks that likely don't have ASD, but who experience some of the traits of being on the spectrum. It's everything I know now about living a successful life on the spectrum that I wish I'd known long ago. In the meantime and in between time, I hope to see you next time, right here in Dave's Garage.